be anything.
The agenda's super rough. I just tried making one before. And it goes as far as greetings, introduce yourself. So I'm Alex. I started Nodebots, I guess, in New Zealand last year, around about this time last year. And now I'm interested in other people joining so we can make it bigger and better. And Jacob, you can go next.
Hey guys, I'm Jacob. Wait, is there only three of us here?
Yeah, but we're live on here so people can
I
watch if they want to, which is
Ah,
why we're doing
interesting.
the rigmarole of introducing ourselves.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, I'm Jacob. I co-founded a company called Mishguru up here, and we use Node everywhere. So I love Node, and I like robots. So I'm here because of that. That's basically it.
Cool. Cool.
Who's next?
Maya, you go, dude.
Okay. Hey, I'm Maya. I'm a student at Victoria University of Wellington. I'm a robotics fanatic, I guess you could call it. So I love robots, and also I enjoy dabbling a bit in JavaScript. So I figured I'd try out a bit of Node.js.
Sweet.
Cool.
It's pretty good. You're gonna love
Cool. And hi, last, I'm Alf. I'm a lecturer at Victoria University's engineering faculty. So I work with Maya quite a lot on a few different projects. I really like robots, any kind of hardware as well, but I have the dubious distinction of having never used Node.js or been to a Nodebots event before, and I would like that to change. So that's kind of why I'm here.
Cool. Um, it doesn't look like anyone's watching, but we're still recording this anyway, so we can probably take it down into casual mode now. Uh, I've
it. Fuck
probably
yeah.
I've probably spoken to each one of you concerning what's been going on and how Nodebots has been going, but I'll give you a brief rundown. So around about this time last year, I started it, and I can't. It came about because I wanted to do it for a while. I was watching the US guys have fun with Nodebots. Sarah Hui gave a talk at a conference, and I was like, I really need to just kick it off. So I managed to get some funding from West, I think was the first sponsors, and then that followed on from Zero and Trade Me, and then ran a little starter event in Wellington, and then the NodeConf in Christchurch got really keen, and they helped bring Nodebots down to Christchurch. After that, we've had multiple events in Wellington, and I've sent the kit up to Jacob for a Node.js meetup once. And yeah, so that's basically the gist of logistically how it's been run. Up until now, I've only done one series of funding, and that's gotten the existing kit, which is a bunch of Spark Fun Inventor kits, some Spark Core development kits, which are quite big as well. They're almost the same as the Inventor kit, and then a bunch of like sundries and other crap around it, like glue, hot glue guns, cable ties, just a massive amount of junk that you need to sustain an event. And the chassis as well, and everything that goes with them, like ball bearings so they can pivot on, servos, all of that stuff. Yeah, so right now, I've just started up another round of funding. It feels like a little mini startup, to be honest. So I've managed to secure $2,000 from PowerShop, possibly or hopefully a gold tier sponsorship, which is another $2,000 from Alfero. I'm meeting with Catalyst on Wednesday, this Wednesday, to talk about sponsorship, hoping that they'll kick in another gold sponsor because they just love sponsoring open source things like this. And then after that, I'm going to propose it to Wellington City Council, and I'm asking for $10,000 because apparently if you ask for more, they're more likely to give it to you. I don't know. It's crazy. But so I'm in a position now where we've already got like the core kit, and anything else would be awesome, but we really need direction. And so I guess the first thing on the agenda would be decide how it should be managed. With the amount of money coming into it, I'm not really happy managing it just by myself anymore. It's getting so big and unwieldy that I would like people coming in and collaborating on it to get it. and so have a real sense of community ownership rather than just an individual ownership. And I'm not like suggesting a subcommittee, because I think that even has the layers of like a treasurer and a chairman and all of that stuff. But if anyone has any suggestions on how it should be run, I mean, I'm happy to stand back if someone wants to take over and like give it a good push for like a term or a year or something like that, or if people just want to help out on the outside, it's really up to you guys and to how much time you can commit and what you want to do.
Well, I could just say that I'm not really keen to like come in and like help leadership styles,
Yep.
but I am definitely like available to help. Big thing for me is that I kind of keep quite a schedule, so like as long as I know things well in advance, I can usually make time for them. But if it's like an ad hoc, like if we need help this week, I'm probably not going to be available. But if I can plan in the future, definitely happy to help with anything that comes up.
Cool. So I figured we'd be looking for people in other cities to just be able to run events and to be on the ground going, okay, in 3 months' time we should run an event because everyone's been asking for it. So I was hoping that you could kick in and just run events, maybe with Kev and possibly Sierra in Auckland.
Yeah, that's all good. I'm basically doing that already, right?
Yeah, totally.
In a way. Yeah. No, yeah, completely fine with that.
And
I think one thing that would really help is if we printed out, just say, or just had available some documents that are basically like, here is what you do to run an event, and then things also to be like, this is what you do when you arrive at an event. Here's all the stuff you need to know. That's everything on this page, so on and so forth.
Yep.
I think that would be really helpful.
Yeah, I figured this meeting's going to be pretty scattered because we need to talk about curriculum and like sorting the kit into a modular a way where people can run different levels of events, because we're gonna either just go linear and go, okay, we're just gonna get heaps more Nodebots, or we can start spreading out and going, okay, what would it look like if we got into drones, if we started making water-powered rockets, anything like submarine boats out of Tupperware containers, anything like that. And then we'd really need what you just mentioned, Jacob, as like a plan on how to run this event. Right? Here's what to do, here's what you need to set up, here's the things you need to think about when you're running an event. And even down to the participants, they'll need instructions on, here's the kit that you've got, take care of it, and this is how to build your rocket or boat or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. If you got a link to this meeting agenda or anything anywhere?
It's in GitHub. If you filter, I think I can post it in the QA discussion, possibly. Oh no, just
I can probably find it
in the chat message. So there.
There we go.
Thank you.
So I think two of the points are roughly the same. The event proposals call for help in the sourcing organisers for Node events in more cities. So it sounds like we've got Auckland locked down, and we definitely have Wellington locked down. It would have been cool to get Blair on here, but he's pretty busy as it is, so that's no problem.
Where's Blair based?
Dunedin.
Okay.
It sounds
sure.
like. Sorry,
the Media Suite guys, I'm sure would be keen to run Nodebots events. They've run a few in Christchurch already.
Yeah, so they've got Node copters, right?
They've got a couple of quadcopters.
Yeah, I've been talking to Ed. I think Ed was supposed to jump on today. Again, it's like a public holiday, so I chose a pretty bad time.
I know, yeah.
But yeah, so I guess from another point of view, the biggest thing I need, I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing and just raising money and then buying the kit and expensing it through the JS Society, but we're in need of like a curriculum built, and I was hoping that's where Alf would come in and use his academic skills.
That's usually an oxymoron. So yeah, I'd love to help with something like that in any way I can. In terms of Jacob, what you were talking about, I've been involved with I don't know if you guys have like a run sheet, Alex and Maya, seeing as you've run events before, but there's a whole bunch of others. The one that comes to mind is RoboCart, where they do it in Christchurch, Auckland, Wellington, a couple of other places, and they have a run sheet for the whole day and what teams are expected to do, when, and the judging sheet. So if we wanted a template to work off, I've got all of that to save us kind of writing it all from scratch, and then we could just personalize it. And in terms of a curriculum, I'm more than happy to put something together in terms of resources or a website or whatever. But I guess for me, the big question is, what's it a curriculum for? Is it a curriculum for high school students, for software people to do some hardware? Some kind of direction towards an event?
Yeah.
Or just a place to start?
I guess it's where it gets a bit grey. And I think it's tough. So we've got 2 school teachers now that have contacted me that said that they would love to run it in their schools, but I've been leaving them to do that themselves. I guess I was misusing the term curriculum, and what I was meaning was more of a guide for a day. So you come to Nodebots, and here's the many things that you can do. If you pick one stream, these are the things that you'll do. You'll learn in the stream. Here's like maybe the learning outcomes, resources that you can go to. To be honest, with the funding we've got, we could possibly pay a student to help write it, Alf, if you've got any students in mind that could do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've got a few I could talk to. But yeah, let me know if you want to go down that alley, because I can certainly find some. Maya can find me some.
I'm looking.
Sorry, what was that, Matt?
I'm looking at some of the Nodecopter stuff and stuff like that, and that's looking real interesting.
Yeah, so that takes me onto another tangent of what should we buy with the
sorry. We should finish the curriculum thing first.
I think it just needs thinking about more. It's definitely not a curriculum. It's just a bunch of streams given for any given day, and what you'd get out of learning on the stream, or what you'd get out of doing a particular stream. I think the focus should always be on fun. So it should just be like, hey, you'll make a rocket, you'll let it fly, you'll measure the altitude, you'll launch a parachute, and then it'll fall down, or it'll crash down horribly if you misjudge the parachute.
I think that's a great idea. I think it's like that thing where the first time you come to a Nodebots event, you just need the basics. Like, this is how it works. Get it beeping or making flashing lights. Because once you get past that, people kind of run with it, and they just do whatever they kind of feel like, and you don't really need a strict curriculum or any sort of, this is what you do, this is advanced level 3.1. You don't need anything like that. I think once you just get people past the basics, they just start doing crazy stuff with it anyway. So all we need to do
like
is worry
you and your Knight Rider.
Yeah.
I found something interesting, because that, like, it kind of takes me back to the Hardware Hackfest that Alf also came to, and like if it was sort of like a Hardware Hackfest but with Node, so it's like a Node Hackfest but with the robotics part in it as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess the slight difference there, from my perspective, I might be wrong, is that at a Hackfest you're usually getting people who already know how to use the technology to do something different with it, whereas here I kind of see at least part of it is educating people how to use it. So it means at least an hour and a half, depending on what you're doing, is going to be teaching people the basics, and then after that they'll run with it. But you have to have something structured and giving them something like, I think, did you guys have sumo robots last time you ran it? That was the video that I saw, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great example of something kind of short and sweet that it works.
Yeah.
So I think if we put together like a resource based around that activity and maybe one other, so people have a choice, that would be a really good place to start with a curriculum, for lack of a better word.
Cool. So it sounds like we could push that off to a later meeting, and I'll just drop into Vic one day and we'll just plan out some different streams.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly find one of your students if we get funding
Yeah.
enough to create it, and then we can just, student gets to make some money, and we get a little course out of it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Cool.
Good plan.
So Maya pointed out the next part is what do we actually spend the gear on? And there's
Oh,
so
I'm
many
actually
different things.
I'm looking at the parrot drone and like I'm figuring out how it does some of the stuff that it does in the JavaScript one. Like there was something real interesting where I saw that you can set like its height and stuff
Hmm.
like that through Node.
You can
And
just
I
write
just
flip as well. Just
Yeah,
write
yeah, yeah.
flip.
You can like
Make it break
right flip. Yeah, yeah. There's like all these interesting things you can do, and I was wondering how can you do that? But it turns out there's an ultrasonic sensor just underneath the bottom to know how high it is. So that means you can program in how high and how tall and everything.
Oh, cool.
It's real
Yep.
interesting.
Yep. So what's happened with the other Nodebots and chapters in the other, and mostly in San Francisco and Colorado are the biggest ones, is they've gone and they just went crazy and just started going into node boats, node copters, node rockets. And
Great
so
idea.
Yeah.
I was thinking about how that would work for us. And I did I'm trying to pull it up. I did a spreadsheet about the costs around each one's. The other things that I've been thinking about is wearables, because possibly I'm just making an assumption is there might be a high barrier to entry for women to get involved when it's just robots fighting other robots. I mean, some of the young girls that we heard along, like 12-year-old girls, just love it. They love smashing the other robots, and one of them won, which was amazing. This was a previous event, but so wearables is definitely an option, and I've been playing around with it myself. It's kind of fun. I suck at sewing though, so it's hard for me. So the things I've been looking at is we can either we have to fix up the current gear. So what I've been thinking is get any kind of Wi-Fi capable Arduino, so either particle photons or Maya's getting some digistumps. If they work and they're cheaper, then
Yeah.
possibly run with those. Just breadboards, cable ties, anti-static bags, and replacement servos, and that all comes to about $1,000. So even with the replacement parts, we still have quite a bit of cash, depending on how much
How
of
many
Catalyst sponsor and how much Alfero want to fork out.
how many of the like everything comes up to $1,000?
So 16 photons, 6 breadboards, 100 or so cable ties, 30 or 40 anti-static bags, and 8 replacement servos. So the anti-static bags are interesting. So what I'm going to do is not ship the SparkFun Inventor kits everywhere. I'm just going to wrap everything up in an anti-static bag, and I'll just ship a box of bags, like however many you need for an event. And that way it'll be in a very small cardboard box, likely, that I'll just ship to someone like Jacob. And at the moment, we've been shipping one big plastic container that costs about $70 to $80 to ship. So I'm hopefully trying to bring that down to around about $10 to $20. I'm hoping,
That'd be
and then
awesome.
it makes it way more accessible to people in Dunedin and Christchurch.
That's fantastic.
So that's I guess that's the maintenance side of things, and then from then on, I've been looking at things like spheros, AR drones, submarine motors. The node rockets is quite interesting because you have to build a lot of stuff with high pressure valves and hoses and heaps of crap like that. Would be a fun project, but there's a lot of work to get the base set up where you launch the rockets. The rockets are easy to make. It's just the gear in place to get everything going.
Is that a task that's offloaded onto you, or is that one that people will do themselves at the events?
It's definitely one that you want to do well ahead of time before the event. So possibly we'll just have one kit that could be shipped around. If you go to noderockets.com and go to hack, you can see how crazy it gets. If you just look at the launcher.
A good rule to follow would be avoid things that are going to push more work onto you than is already necessary.
I don't mind doing projects like this in the weekend and stuff. I find it fun, and I can occasionally do run an event. I've been trying to do them every bi-monthly, but it's just been. I'm in startup life at the moment, and startup life's crazy. So it gets interesting. But things like this are my procrastination anyway. I like to do this stuff rather than doing the work that I should be doing.
Jeez, there is a bit of setup involved in the base, eh?
Yep. Again, we could possibly pay some uni students or...
Are you looking at the launcher?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too. There's quite a lot of work, but I mean, it looks like quite a lot of fun to make in the initial stages, though.
Yeah, totally. I guess the other thing I can mention here is that in general, we've got a really good group of first and second years going on to third years up at Vic now. And in general, if I put out a call on Facebook to them, you'll get at least kind of 3, 4, 5 that will volunteer to do an evening or a Saturday if it's building something cool. Because for them, it's learning something new in the field that they're interested in. So a lot of them will be quite happy to kind of volunteer their time to put something together. I'm happy to pay them if it's kind of longer term. Assembling 16 kits, that's something I've done with students for 3 hours on a weekend, and most of them will turn up for free. I might just buy them chocolate or something.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Like I said, the funding isn't really, it's definitely not a problem at the moment. People seem more than happy to help because it's addressing a gap that isn't there. A gap that is there. And so I'm going to go on another tangent and I want to talk about where we should aim to push Nodebots. And I guess this is a loaded question because we want to do all of the cool stuff, but sometimes that's not ideally accessible to kids. And whether or not we should just say we should aim towards anything under 10. Maybe it's not fun to come to Nodebots, but anything above 10 is fine. And adults and devs especially will get the most value out of it. Or if we should just go, we can create modules for kids, and we can create modules for developers, and we can create modules for adults that want to do learning like that they've never done before. So throwing it out there, what do other people think about that kind of area?
I'm a little bit selfish maybe in the fact that I like Nodebots in the sense that it helps people get into Node, which is, so I'm kind of more focused on the adult area or maybe like university students and things like that. So I guess maybe that I run wouldn't be like young kids. So yeah, I'd definitely be keen for something that aims more towards like older people, like above 13, at least.
So I've got some input about just like the Wellington area, especially. I find that there's the university and a lot of places around the Wellington, like the Makerspace and stuff, do a lot of like programs dedicated to high school students and like intermediate kids and stuff, and there's like RoboCup and there's a few other competitions as well. I think it might be nice to have something aimed at higher level stuff like devs and uni students and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, there are surprisingly few practical events for developers, like outside of university. Like there's lots of meetups where you can go and watch some dude talk for an hour, but there are very few events where they're actually like practical and hands-on. You can actually do something. So like it is definitely like a niche that doesn't get filled often.
Or like hackathon style.
Interesting. Yeah. Also, just on the point we were talking about earlier, with the different types of like what to use the funding for, just having different, even if it's like Nodecopters or just having cool things, it's just, even if you've just got one or two, is such a great draw card to get people coming along to the events.
That's true.
If you have one event and you're doing sumo bots, then you have another event you're doing sumo bots. By the time you get to the third event, all the people have been filtered out that don't like sumo bots. You've got maybe like a very small amount of people, but if you do sumo bots, then Nodecopters, then I don't know, the little ball things, I can't remember what they're called.
Spheros.
Then you end up with like a way bigger diversity of people, and it's just a lot more interesting for everyone, I think.
Yeah, I came to the same conclusion. I'm more than happy to aim it towards adults, and I say this because what's been happening is other people have been borrowing the gear directly and then running the kit with kids, and they do a far better job than what I do. Like, I'm terrible at teaching kids, and so the Coder Dojo has been borrowing the gear quite a few times, and yeah, they run not Nodebots at all. They just play with the LEDs and teach the kids how to wire up buttons to LEDs to make some light, and then plug in some piezo to make some noise. And yeah, it's good for them, and I'm fine with lending them the kit to do that. So yeah, I think by the sounds of it, we should probably just focus on devs, adults, uni students, kind of. It makes it a lot easier for me and for whoever's writing the curriculum if they know their age group. So if we say 14 and above, because you get the really smart 14 and 15-year-old programmers that just blow you away sometimes and make you feel really old.
Yeah. People who are borrowing the kits to like teach kids stuff, you could get them to write a curriculum.
Yep.
Or just even
so
like
we've got a guy, Tim Harford, who works at Wellington Girls High, and he's looked at the kit, and I've given him a lot of advice, and now he's building a term-long course for the Girls High students to learn how to make a robot over a term, which is really cool. So I'm interested to see what comes out of that. I guess it's easier for him because there's so much resources on Nodebots out on the net. There's GitHub repos, there's shape files where you can either print it or get it laser cut. There's just heaps of stuff out there.
Sweet.
Coming back to the gear, so yeah, as I was saying, there was like submarine motors, node rockets, drones. Is there any, like, it sounds like diversity amongst the kit is pretty cool. It would be key. Is there any? How should we do it in terms of finding out what to buy next? Should we just put it into the JavaScript Slack and say, "Hey, run a poll on what do you think we should buy?" Like Parrot drones.
We could ask it. We could ask at the events as well.
Yep.
We could just be like, here's 3 things. What would you guys rather do at the next Node event? And then just see what people want to work with. Because, I mean, these are the people coming. Like, screw it. Let them pick it, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
A
I guess
hexapod would be really cool to build as well.
the only thing I'll throw in there is that with some of those, particularly the rocketry and the drone ones, there are non-robotic issues to consider. Less so with the drones, but particularly with the rockets. If you're launching anything above 150, 200 meters, you're technically meant to advise the local branch of the Civil Aviation Authority like a month in advance. I know no aircraft fly 200 meters off the ground, but they're sticklers about it. And Wellington, I know the dude, so it's not an issue. But outside of Wellington, so happy to do it, but that would need to go in the documentation. Or
just put that on the plane. You're not allowed to go over 200 meters.
Yeah,
We've got
It's no responsibility
in Wellington, right?
Sorry.
In Central City, we've got a no-fly zone for drones. From memory, you can't fly it in Central City anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the line of sight
around there, but I don't know what it is. So
yeah, I thought
we
it
should
was the
just be
whole
aware
line
of
of sight thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good thing to take note of. Another thing, and you might be interested in this, Jacob, is one of the other reasons I built Nodebots is for JSConf. When we eventually have one, Nodebots will be used as a way for people to bring their families and like to impress your family with your development skills, rather than going, "Oh, look, here's some awesome code that I wrote." You'd be like, "Oh, here's a robot that I programmed to smash another robot."
That's cool.
And
yeah,
so
that's a good idea.
It was more around making a JSConf fun outside of just the talks, so you can actually go and hack on some stuff and play around.
Yeah, I'd love to see another NodeConf. That was one of the best conferences I've ever been to. That NodeConf in Christchurch, where we just had like one day of talks and the next day just Nodebots. It was fantastic.
Yeah. The Nodebots had a Node conf. I think it might be better suited to a JS camp or somewhere where you just go out and rent a bunch of cabins or wherever you go, and then you can fire as many rockets as you want into the sky. And if you're out in the middle of nowhere, then no one will care. Well, hopefully, unless you hit a plane.
Someone's crop dusting and.
Okay, so I'll make note to ask what people want to see at Nodebots, at the next Nodebots.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing.
So I guess next on the agenda is the call for, event proposals. So I've had a few requests, and yeah, I can't do the. Sorry, I'll link to the meeting notes that I'm looking at. Basically, Alfera requested I do a Nodebots as soon as possible as a kicker for the funding, because apparently the devs got really excited about it, and so I said, okay, I'll try and do one ASAP. When are you available? Because you really wanted to come to one, right, Alf?
Yep.
Is there any weekends that you have available that's not the 26th anytime soon?
In general, my weekends are pretty free. I'm busy on the 7th and 8th of November, but other than that, the rest of my November is don't know what time or how long events run for, but in general, I tend to prefer Saturdays over Sundays, but literally any weekend in November I can do.
So we normally go from either start at 9:30 or 10 and roll to 4 o'clock or thereabouts.
Okay.
We can make it shorter. It's just some people take a while to get off the ground and get started. So, and then you've got the late people that show up at lunchtime and try and rush the gear. How about we make it for when are you running yours? 26th. Is that right, Jacob?
I'm actually running on the 25th. I just changed it a couple of days ago because the people that we're hosting it with, Paymark, have their staff party on the 26th. So,
that's cool.
So 25th, if that's all right.
I wonder if we can do it on the 14th and 15th, Elf.
Yeah, that should be pretty sweet. I guess.
Sorry, not 14th and 15th, just 14th. Either that or the 21st.
Yeah. I'm happy with those dates. It's just a relatively short lead-in, some of whom will have families into an event. Usually I run on kind of 3 weeks out as the minimum, but I'm happy to give it a shot, especially if we've already got people who are interested. So,
yep, I've been pushing it back and back into a short lead-in time because I had it where I'd announce it 2 months beforehand, and you get a bunch of people that buy tickets and just don't show up because it's just they've forgotten about it. So I'm happy with 3 weeks, which will put us to the 21st.
Okay, or the 14th works fine. I'm happy to do that as well. So
I think the 21st is fine. How fast did you get the kit last time, Jacob? That's the only thing that I'm aware of. If I ship it on 23rd.
It was in like 3 days.
This time it'll be going through a courier, so I'm hoping that it'll be a day overnight, maybe.
It should be as long. Yeah, I just think it would be so awkward if I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can ship it on an overnight courier with courier post rather than going through mainfreight.
Sweet, yeah, it's in the same island as well, so that should help things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'd be very surprised if they couldn't get it to you in 2 days, since like Mighty Ape can ship something to Wellington overnight, pretty much.
Okay, yeah, no, it should be fine. I can't see any reason not to do it.
Yep. Yeah, there'd be a lot of hand waving if you didn't get the gear for a Nodebots event.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd do. I'd think of something. It's all good.
Okay, so I'll announce one for the 21st. The other one was, I guess we can't do the 28th. Oh, we possibly could. So
I can ship it straight back out on the 26th.
Yeah, so this is a request come about from a guy called Ben Wild, who used to work for Unlimited Realities and now works for someone else, and he's running an hour of code at Scots College. And so what they want is someone to just go and show off Nodebots for about an hour and just run a whole bunch of students through. But again, if we're focusing on devs and adults, this is probably, this and the National Library Holiday Science thing is probably not the best place for us to be. Again, it comes back to if someone else wants to jump in and take the kit and run with it, it's fine, but we probably shouldn't be talking about this in the Nodebots meetings. And so you mentioned that you could be keen on doing the National Library Holiday Science thing, right, Alf? But you just didn't have any gear to show off.
Yeah, so I'm kind of available. I did it last year by myself, which was fine. We're just doing some basic Arduino stuff. But yeah, there were a lot of people there, and they were all kind of 5 to 10-year-old, 10 or 11-year-old kids. Which again, there's nothing wrong with that. But if that's not what we're going for, then it's probably not worth us giving up our Christmas, New Year.
So I've been to the Maker Party, and it was very difficult. All I did was I thought that I was going to show kids how to code JavaScript and let them play around with it, but all I did was ended up just wiring up 2 laptops. I think, Maya, you came along at the start, and the kids were just driving the robots around and that. I'm pretty sure they all enjoyed it, and I had an amazing amount of kids surround me just watching these robots fight. So that could be fun. If we get some Spheros and some drones, we could definitely fly them around the National Library. Pretty sure that they'd love some drones smashing into their paintings.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to, you can take any of the gear. I was also thinking about going down there and using their 3D printer to print some parts for Nodebots.
Yeah, they've got plenty.
Okay, so is there anything else on the agenda we haven't covered?
It doesn't look like it.
So if we
Alex, oh sorry, it was completely outside the meeting, but could you send the Sumobots kits up as well on the 25th?
Yeah, did I not send them up last time?
No, but we didn't need them last time, but this time people have requested them, so.
Yeah, so this is, I guess this is an important question. What do you want in the kit? Because I'm going to be sending you a anti-static bag with, and I can put anything in there. And but basically, you've got a choice of anything out of the Inventor kits and the Nodebot shells, possibly some LEDs and.
What are the Nodebot shells? Do you mean the Sumobot? Like
yeah, sorry, the Sumobot shells. You've seen them, the ones that you built.
Yeah.
So
if we could just get the basics to make a Sumobot, that's all I'd need.
And do you want anything else other than that, or just the Sumobot kit?
Just the Sumobot kit. Oh, and of course the little sound, because we've got to make the Knight Rider theme.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm probably going to be printing some more Sumobots out of ply this time. The bamboo's shitty. You have to sand it down to fit it into the joints.
Okay, cool.
If you want, I think I can make a design where it's just one big 3D printed box, like a 3D printed shell, and that you slot in the servos and you just put a breadboard on top, and like wiring space is available. And so that means you wouldn't have to laser cut anything. It would just be like 3D print this one shell that's really easy to assemble, and then people can get straight into programming.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
I can think of a design right now. I'll have to see. I'd have to grab some of the existing hardware to basically model around that. So that means we don't have to do any modifying. But yeah.
And I guess that was another question I had, is if Wellington City Council do end up funding, should we get something like a 3D printer or a CNC machine or something?
I think a 3D printer would be cool to show off, and I think that also a lot of a lot of people that come would love to see one in action.
Yep.
Since not many people would have seen one, even though they're quite prominent around now these days.
Yeah, it's a good point. I guess when that comes around, like when the Wellington City Council, well, if they do say yes, then we've got another question of what do we spend X amount of dollars on. I'm hoping that it's a big amount. Everyone I've talked to said they often give 5 and 10K sponsorships more than they give 1 to 2K.
Sweet.
Okay.
They don't like paperwork.
Maybe even a cheap laser cutter with that much.
Yeah, I was looking at the X Carve. They look really good and they're cheap. But anyway, okay, that covers everything that we set to talk about. I guess, yeah, we just have to have chats after this individually. I've got to send some kit to you, Jacob, and then I'll pop into uni one day and chat about getting, what is the correct term for it? It's not curriculum, it's just guides, right? Stream guides. Some guides made
Yeah.
up.
I just call them resources.
Okay, perfect. Other than that, I'm just going to go ahead and order the replacement parts that we need so we can keep on building kits. How long do you think you'll know before you figure out whether we can 3D print some gear, Maya? Because otherwise I'll need to order some more chassis because a lot of them are broken.
I'd say for now order the chassis because trying to design this might take some time.
Okay. Does anyone know anyone with a laser cutter that's willing to use it and get paid for it?
I might.
Yeah,
It'll be
well,
relevant.
I think the architecture and design school do custom laser
Oh
cutting.
yeah, they do.
Um,
They do.
just as a paid service. I don't know what it costs. Didn't you pay them, Maya?
I got mine laser cut by James and Jason, but let me find out if I can find. Yeah, I don't know. James and Jason also do it, I guess. Ish.
What kind of quantities are we talking, Alex? Because otherwise, we do have a laser cutter that I can use. If it's for something that promotes kind of programming and electronics to the community, then I can probably fly it as an outreach cost.
Yeah, I mean, we've got money for it, so that's fine. What I went with Pinocchio last time, and they charged $400 or so, and it was 10 meter by meter sheets of just Nodebot chassis.
What does the makerspace charge for?
Yeah, they
getting
just
stuff like
took
this?
way too long to respond to me. I sent them heaps of
Okay.
emails saying, I need this by the state. I really need it by the state. Look, you've taken too long. I'm going to have to go
okay.
with Pinocchio. But yeah, Pinocchio was the last resort because they're more expensive than everyone else, I think. But great service. You get it pretty much overnight.
Oh wow, nice.
But yeah, if anyone has any resource, and
So,
yeah, I'd love to go local and pay someone to do it locally.
Okay, I'll have a chat to our technicians because even if they can't do it, they'll know people who do get them do get it done locally.
Yep, it's just for 3mm ply and possibly 5 or 6mm for some wheels.
I think I have a friend that's actually been trained with the laser cutter at the design school because all the design students have to get trained with it. I think that he might be able to book that cutter to try and get stuff cut if we need to do something like that.
Okay, well, ask around and pop up any leads that you have on the Slack channel.
Or I can just email the design campus faculty and see what they say on getting stuff cut.
Sweet. Oh, lastly, Alf, do you know where you can buy anti-static bags from? I've been struggling.
Oh, not off the top of my head. I would assume somewhere like JCar, but I'm not sure.
Probably about A4 size.
A4 size.
Well, actually, they just need to hold the Arduino. Everything else can just be thrown in a normal bag. So I guess either Arduino sized or A4 sized. So I can just put everything in the one bag.
50mm by 80mm. 5 centimeters by 8 centimeters. No, that seems too small. I'm just looking on eBay. Just
It'll be
seeing.
Arduino size, right?
Yeah, I'm just looking on eBay. I think I could check on check on AliExpress as well because they'll have some massive amount that you can buy. Yeah, 100
Yeah,
100
minimum
at $1
1,000 or
each.
something.
Yeah, like you could just buy like 1,000 of them for like, and they get DHL shipping for free and stuff like that.
Okay,
They're all
send me
sealable
through the
ones.
links if you find them, and I'll have a look as well. Cool. Well, that's everything. If you think of anything cool that we can buy with the money, just post the links up in the Nodebots chat.
I really want to see one of the AR drones because that looks
Yeah.
real cool.
I'm gonna put a vote for a drone as well. It'd be nice.
So I had one previously, and it is really cool. It's super fun to program to.
Have you
The
used it
commands
with-
are just ridiculous. You just
Yeah.
go,
with
like
the-
what you said, dot flip.
They have a
dot
couple
90
down in
degree.
Christchurch, which they run their Nodebots with. Yeah, it was so fun. I ran it into a wall 3 times and had to get it repaired, but it was great fun. I loved it.
Oh wow, nice. 23 centimeters by 17 centimeter bags that are resealable. I checked the link in the chat. There we go.
Sweet.
50 of them,
Yeah, I've
it's
seen-
$18.
I've seen the sumo bots versus the drones too, which looked really
What?
cool. You have to you have to shoot down the drones with. Yeah.
Oh whoa, that sounds cool.
No, my only
Yeah,
experience with the drones was I made one that spun, and then when it recognized a face, it would just charge. So you had to stand in a circle, and then you had to duck the drone, and then everyone had to stand in another circle. And it was great fun.
Was this with the
Awesome.
prop guards on? Or
Yes, it was.
yeah, I was like, yeah, no, those bags look huge. They seem like they could fit an Arduino and like the whole bot and everything. Like 50 of them for $18.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'll go with those. That's perfect. Thanks, Maya.
Yeah, and you can get like DHL shipping for $31 on top of it, like twice the price of the bags.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'll tee up meetings for the meetings that are needed. And yeah,
Sweet.
just throw links and stuff in the Nodebots chat and keep the ball rolling on cool stuff to buy.
Sweet.
All right.
All right.
Can
Thanks
I ask
so much.
for one
for coming.
thing?
Nice to
Can
meet
I
you
ask
guys.
something before we go?
Yep.
Alex, I'm just looking at the event proposals, and there's a few comments talking about people who would like to run Nodebot stuff but don't know how. Is it worth like penciling in a organizer training event for December, January at some stage?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. It's just because I
Yeah.
know I'll talk to people between now and then who want to know when it might be, and we've got a whole bunch of school teachers coming into Vic the beginning of December. So if I can say, hey, look, there's something that's going to happen that you can go to if you're keen, yeah, it would be awesome for me.
Okay.
We don't have to pick a
Do you
date.
want a real date then? Either the 5th or the 12th of December is fine.
Okay, so 12th is probably bad because there's a national robotics competition on the Saturday.
Yep.
Maybe the 5th or the 6th, if we tentatively put it in there. Or the 5th?
One sec. I'm just asking my partner what time this wedding. I've got a wedding to go to around there. Just
Hey, I've got
tentatively.
to go, guys. But
Cool.
nice meeting you guys.
Right.
Talk to you later, I guess, Alex, when you ship the bots up.
So,
Alright, catch you guys later. See ya.
Cool.
Thanks,
See ya.
Jacob. Tentatively the 5th.
Okay, I can make myself available for the 5th.
Yeah.
We don't have to.
5th's
Yeah.
fine.
it's- Cool. Awesome.
So 21st and the 5th, I'll lock those in and start doing the prep needed to announce the event and stuff.
Okay. I'll have a think about some kind of how we might want to. Do you have a preferred format for curriculum resource stuff? Like I was just thinking about locking it all together on GitHub or something. Is that kind of what you
GitHub's
have in
fine.
mind? All right.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep, GitHub's fine.
Awesome.
You'll know on the 21st that I run my event in a semi-chaotic state, so I'm probably going to need someone to go, oh, you should probably think about doing these things before we have this organisers event to teach people how to run these events. Because if it was me, I'd just be like, oh, you just show up on the day and you give people the stuff and then they build the things and you're done.
Maya's worked with me enough to know that that's pretty much how I roll. But yeah, we can try and be better. It'll be great.
Totally. All right. Thanks for
Cool.
coming, guys. It's been awesome.
Sweet.
No worries.
Okay, see ya.
Thanks for organising it. See ya.
See ya.